All right, let's talk about something huge. How do you take a massive, complicated, maybe even kind of scary application and turn it into something modern, fast, and built for the cloud? Well, today we're laying out the renovation plan. Let's jump right in. So, take a look at this. Does it maybe give you a little bit of a headache? It should. For a lot of us, this tangled mess isn't just a drawing, it's our application architecture. We call it a monolith, and trying to change one tiny thing in there can feel like playing a game of Jenga with your entire business. One wrong move, and the whole thing could come tumbling down. A good way to think about your monolith is like it's this grand old mansion. It was probably amazing when it was first built. Super impressive, solid as a rock. But now? Now the plumbing's all weirdly connected, wanting to add a new window is a 6-month ordeal, and when one fuse blows, somehow the entire West Wing goes dark. It's time for an upgrade. And these are the pains you probably feel every single day. You know that feeling, right? Risky updates where everyone on the team is just holding their breath during a deployment. Slow innovation where you see your competitors launching cool new stuff while you're still in meetings talking about it. And the scaling challenge? Oh, that's a classic. It's like having to fire up the furnace for the entire mansion just because one person is cold in one room. It's just so inefficient and super expensive. Okay, enough with the problems. What's the dream? What are we working towards? Well, we're going to move from that single, sprawling mansion to a sleek, modern apartment complex. This is the cloud-native blueprint, where the future is all about small, independent, modular services. And here's the beautiful part. This is the core promise. In our new apartment building, every single unit, every microservice is completely self-contained. It's got its own plumbing, its own electrical, the whole shebang. So you want to renovate the kitchen in Unit 3B? Go for it. It won't bother anyone else in the building. That independence is the absolute game changer. It gives you speed, it gives you resilience, and it lets you build cool new things for your customers way, way faster. Right, this all sounds great in theory, but the idea of actually doing it, of taking a bulldozer to that old mansion all at once, is absolutely terrifying. I get it, it's a huge risk. But here's the really good news. You don't have to. There's a much, much smarter way to do this renovation. And the strategy has this fantastic name, the strangler fig pattern. And the analogy is just perfect. In a rainforest, a strangler fig starts as this tiny little seed on an old tree. Over time, it grows its own vines, wraps them around the host tree, and puts down its own roots. Eventually, the old tree inside just fades away, leaving the strong, healthy new tree in its place. We're going to do exactly that, but with our code. So, how does this actually work? It's a pretty straightforward, repeatable process. First, you find one distinct piece of your application, a seam, like the user authentication system. Second, you go build that as a brand new, totally independent service. Third, and this is the magic part, you slowly start redirecting traffic. Maybe just 1% of users go to the new service at first. And finally, once you're 100% sure it's stable and working great, you get to do the most satisfying thing ever. You strangle and delete the old code for good. And when you lay it out like this, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? A big bang rewrite is a massive gamble. You basically go dark for a year or two and just hope what you come back with actually works. The strangler fig is the complete opposite. It's low risk, you're delivering value piece by piece, getting those quick wins and spreading the cost out over time. From a business perspective, it's really a no-brainer. Okay, so we've got our strategy, but what are we going to build these shiny new apartments with? You wouldn't use construction techniques from the 1920s, right? You need modern tools for a modern building. And that's where your cloud toolkit, specifically AWS Managed Services, becomes absolutely crucial. Think of this as your translation guide, a cheat sheet for modernizing. Instead of spending all your time managing a giant complex database, you can use a managed service like Amazon RDS to handle all the boring stuff like backups and patching for you. For flexible data like user profiles, something like Amazon DynamoDB is a perfect fit. To help your new services talk to each other, messaging queues like SQS and SNS are your best friends. And for those little tasks that just need to run once in a while, AWS Lambda is perfect. The key here is that you're not just replacing old tech, you're using the right tool for the right job, which lets you build better and faster. All right, we have the strategy and we have the tools. Now let's zoom out and put it all together into a real concrete roadmap. This is the high-level blueprint for your entire renovation project. It all kicks off with Phase 1, planning. You're basically doing reconnaissance on the old mansion, mapping everything out, and picking your first target for renovation. Phase 2 is about executing that first project, proving that this whole process works. Then comes Phase 3, And this is where you really hit your groove. You've learned a ton, and now you can start strangling service after service, getting faster each time. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, phase 4. You get to turn off the lights in that old monolith for the very last time. Now that is a good day. Through all of this, we have to remember the real reason we're doing it. This is so important. It's not about using cool new technology just for the sake of it. The entire point of this huge effort is to get better at delivering what your customers actually want and to do it faster and more reliably. The technology is just the way we get there. So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway isn't that you need to go plan some massive multi-year rewrite project tomorrow. No way. The real question, the one I want you to walk away with, is much simpler and honestly a lot more powerful. What's the first brick? What's that one small, manageable piece you can improve first? That's your starting point.